Welcome to Civil Discourse. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Steve, and we're here to give you today's news from both sides of the political spectrum. Today, I got my guy Steve here with me yet again, and we're going to talk about a little bit of we got Trump, Putin, Zelenskyy. We got Gabbard. She came out and she's kicking people out off getting rid of their national security clearance, which is kind of crazy. She's been probably get kicked off a bunch of Democrats. We all know how that goes. And we also got this whole DC debacle that's going on for you guys. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Wesley?
I'm doing halfway decent. I can't complain. I can't complain. I'm still here, and we don't have National Guard on our streets right now, so I'm doing halfway decent. I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming to a street near me.
Keep it up, and you'll have them there.
And that's what we really believe that too. We really think this is for a reason. We'll get into that for you guys later. We're going to start off the show with news of we won't just call it today, but the biggest news we got going on, which is Trump, Putin, Zelenskyy, and this whole entire Ukraine war that we're dealing with right now. My personal opinion on the war is that I hope that let's hope that Trump can get something settled with it, because none of us want to see this thing go any further. Suited and full of praise, Ukraine and allies woo Trump away from Putin. What a difference a suit makes. After his February fiasco in the Oval Office, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's fabulous fashion decision, as well as the golf club, a personal letter, and support of European leaders he brought with him, appear to have helped shift the mood of his high-level White House talks on the peace with Russia. While the Kremlin publicly smarted, a sense of relief swept through Ukraine, across Europe, and after the summit Monday with President Donald Trump. Zelenskyy hailed it Tuesday as a truly significant step toward ending the war. His team came away with talks relieved that worst-case scenarios were avoided, and pleased that Trump now appears to recognize the crucial importance of security guarantees for Kiev to secure any peace agreement, and the need for the U.S. to play a role in those arrangements. A source familiar with the Ukrainian government's thinking told NBC News. So, Steve, what was your takeaway from this? Did you feel like Trump was a great mediator for this? Do you think he did a fair-handed job when he met with Putin, and then when he met with Zelenskyy? What was your take on this entire?
Well, I'm gonna quote somebody that I just heard about yesterday about what she said, and that would be former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
Stated that she would nominate Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize if he got this process done. That right there, that one statement says a lot.
When did she say that?
Was it the day before? It was during the whole process.
Okay.
But to me, that says a lot. It says a lot for what he's trying to do. Yeah, it's going to take some time, but at least he's trying to get it done. It didn't happen in the last administration, and which is no fault. I'm not going to blame Biden for that. I think we were at a point, in his 4 years where we thought Ukraine could possibly win this whole thing, right? So it was giving them arms, giving them the means to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now we've hit a point where it's not looking too good for Ukraine. It's not looking good for Zelenskyy. I think it's time to finally all the parties come to the table.
Do you think that, when I look at a victory for them, it was never going to be on the battlefield. That was not going to happen. You have a much larger, stronger country in Russia and their allies, which are China, North Korea, probably Iran. Who knows who else they're getting weapons from that we have no idea about, that's sticking their nose in this business. And they have way more people. So they have way more access to troops. They're getting troops from all over in all these other countries. That was never going to happen. What it really was them standing up, and because they were within, I think, 3 days or whatever it was, less than 2 weeks, they were almost ran through Kiev in the very beginning of this war. Then they got pushed back when we were supplying them with weapons. I think the biggest damage came in, I'm sorry to say it, is when Trump came into office and he started pulling weapons from Ukraine. When he started pulling our intelligence from Ukraine. I think that's what kind of hurt them more than anything else. This was never about them winning. This was about them holding the line, because this is about Putin taking back the former Russian blocks. That he's not going to what he thought was he's going to run through run through Ukraine and head over to Poland. That's what he thought. Belarus even had to tell him, hey, don't come over here. And Belarus is an ally of his. They were like, oh, hey, don't come over here with that, because we'll, you put nukes over here. Don't forget, you did put some nukes over here for us. So I really feel like, I mean, to me, I won't quote someone, but I'll kind of give the gist of what they said. They said that Trump's not really negotiating peace; he's negotiating Russia's standpoint at this point in time, and that's what I feel like. And I know that sounds like me just being very partisan, but I feel like that's what he's doing, basically saying, "Hey, you're going to have to give this stuff up and give up everything you want, and that for peace. That's pretty much what you're going to have to do, and that's not a very good way of."
Well, I look at it this way. You had all these people that came over from Europe, different leaders from Europe and the community over there that we invited over. And I look at, it's on their doorstep, okay? The issue is on their doorstep. It's not on ours, okay? We've not lost blood. We've only lost weapons. That's all we've lost in this fight. But it's up to the Europeans to take the stand now and fight back. I mean, I think from Zelensky's standpoint, he's got some considerations to make. Okay, how far does he go with this? How far does he take the killing, the deaths of his soldiers, his civilians? How far does it go? At what point do you say enough's enough? Okay, I'm going to have to think about conceding the Donbass region or Crimea, or what will it take for Putin? Because what did Putin do after he left? He bombed them again.
Yeah, I mean, this is telling you, he doesn't want peace. He's been doing this. He's been doing this in Trump's face this entire time. Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah, I mean, come over and play in Trump's face and go back.
I get what you're saying. But here's the issue for me. You have, again, and I've brought this up numerous times. A lot of people give Trump flack for going out of his way to bring a Putin over here, and it looks like he's standing him up and putting the red carpet out for him.
Troops,
but he's not the first person to do it.
Rolling him out right in front of his plane.
He's not the first president to do that
during
wartime.
In
fact, Hillary Clinton took a damn reset button over there
during wartime. During wartime, you know what I mean?
No,
you invite him over. You're inviting him over.
When. Put
him in a.
But did you see what he did? He made him walk
limo.
He made him walk through 2 stealth bombers and flew a B-2 over his head. Come on, that's intimidating stuff. And did you see his reaction when it happened?
He looked up.
Yeah, he looked up and he's like, "Holy shit!" I mean, that's intimidating to me.
How many pictures they get of that B-2 bomber?
Over here. He got him to come to the United States. I don't care. It's Alaska. Yes,
it's Alaska.
It's still the
That's
United
former
States.
Russian territory. This is not me. I hope he does come up with some type of a resolution to this war. But do I believe that he is this is my personal opinion. I believe that he is compromised by Russia. I've seen Putin play him every single time at every single turn. He has never.
It's never been proven.
It's my belief. It's my belief. That's not to say that's not to say that it's true. It's just my belief. I'm not coming with, but there are facts that kind of do precipitate. Do I believe someone who gives you money can compromise you? Yes, I believe that.
China did it with Biden.
I believe someone who gives you money can compromise you.
That's the same opinion about Biden. I mean, compromised by China and Ukraine.
We didn't see. We saw was a staunch support for Taiwan under Biden. We also saw an immense increase in our chip making ability under Biden to make sure to thwart any kind of efforts from China holding us hostage if they did take Taiwan. So there's a lot of things he did to kind of show that. So all of America is in business with Chinese. But that's not to say, this is not me. I'm not here to defend whether or not Biden had business dealings with the Chinese or what was going on, because I think a lot of our politicians are bought. That's not to say that, but I believe that Trump
I would agree with that.
And I can't sit back. Oh, there's nothing you're doing with Ukraine. There probably is. But do I believe that Ukraine is a good cause for us? Yes, I do. You know why? Because I believe that Russia is our enemy. And that's a messed up thing to say, because I've never been to Russia. I don't know anyone. I know some Russians. I do. But I believe through diplomatic and political, things that have happened in the world, that they're our enemy right now. And there's just no other way around it. Would it be best if they were not? Yeah, it'd be great, but they are. And I think we both have the same goal.
But now that Ukraine is going to have Article 5, they're not going to be a part of NATO, but they're going to have the Article 5 assurances.
Come on. Are we going to do that one again this time? Look, we gave them assurances during in 1990 when they gave away those 4,500.
Not NATO Article 5 assurances.
No, NATO, but they're not a part of NATO. They're not really getting those assurances. We're not putting troops over there. So
now they have a foothold they have a foot in the door of NATO. Yes or no?
I don't think so. I think he'll still invade, and if America is not willing to go to war, not willing to go to, scared to go to nuclear war again, because Putin will threaten that anytime, we won't send troops over there. It'll be the same thing. They don't have Article 5. It's a ploy, and I wouldn't believe it, but I know he has to go for it. You know what I mean? If I gave you 4,500 nuclear weapons and you told me that you'll make sure that these people never invade my country, am I going to believe you now that I don't have the nuclear weapons and they just took a fifth of my country? Am I going to believe you now? I have to believe you, because there's no other way around it, because people cannot support us.
But it's not just the United States. It's also the European Union, Great Britain. All of them are doing it.
So they go to war without us. They go to war with Russia without us. No, they don't, because there's more of a... No, they don't. Not right now. They're not even strong enough to.
No, they're not going to do that now.
Who has the largest army in all of Europe right now? Who has the largest army in all of Europe? I'm going to say I know that Poland's building the largest one. It's like 300,000 people. 300,000, which will be the largest army. What, you know what I mean? Like that, Russia had that many people killed in 3 months last year. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just joking. I'm saying, but so they're not really worried about you. They got way more nukes than all of you. So if you try to jump me, I'm gonna hit somebody with these nukes.
You're gonna throw it out.
You know what I mean? So they're not. If we're not willing to go to war with them, we don't have a steadfast president in office. If they catch another Trump in office.
Okay, we are basically at war with Russia now. It's our weapons being fired over there.
A proxy war. That's the greatest war to be in.
War, yeah,
that's the greatest war to be in. No troops getting killed.
You're not saying that we're not supporting them, but we're still giving them weapons to fight. So we are still involved.
Now they're paying for it. Now they're paying for the weapons. Before we were giving them to them. It's like this.
Would I rather give away the farm?
If I got extra weapons and I can make new ones, what we did was give them weapons we were going to do.
Our capacity for making new weapons has slowed down over the years.
Well, what do we need to do?
Thanks to Democrats.
If we're building old weaponry, that doesn't make sense. Why am I building whatever fighters that we don't need anymore, and we can be building drones? Drones work better than whatever. You know what I mean? You can build $1,000 drones or taking out tanks. We see it happen in the war right now. Ukraine has some of the best drone making capabilities in the world.
$1,000 drones.
Yeah, they're saying it's like $1,000 drones, man.
Bomb that's on the drone.
Oh,
the drone worth $100,000.
No, these aren't the big drones you're thinking about. These aren't the kind they're making in Turkey and places like that. They're literally making drone factories of little drones that they're sending in. They're blowing up tanks. I'm telling you, go look it up. They talked about it like, hey, we're making these little makeshift. Not all of them are like this, but most of them are. When you see those drone swarms, they're not the huge drones you're seeing. They're small.
Oh no, they're not. But they also have the big ones too.
They do. No, they do, but the ones that are most effective are the little ones. They can just shift in there and just shift around. They're chasing troops. Troops are running from the drone. I'm watching on camera. He's running around the tank, and boom.
But why are we not letting the Europeans take the lead on this? They've kind of shied away from the whole thing over the last couple of years.
I think the one thing I can say that Trump did do, he got them to raise
involved.
He got them to raise their spending on defense. That's one thing I can say that he did. But we have to understand that, we've been one of the biggest things. We have bases all over the world. And the reason why we had these bases all over the world, because we were taking control of the act of all shipping lanes. And we had control of that.
Not only that, but you were also, once the wall came down, we put bases in places that where the USSR was the prevalent.
Exactly. So it made us stronger.
But here's the problem. Then Clinton came in, a drawdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Obama came in, a drawdown happened. Even under Bush Jr., he didn't draw it down because he just wanted to go to war. But even during Trump's, there was a slowdown in recruiting and stuff. Biden, the same thing. Biden had a slowdown and recruiting went down. It's changed. It's changed now. We're
we
starting
need
to go
to
up,
change our thought process on this whole thing. We're thinking wrong. We're thinking still Cold War. We start thinking about, we don't need a bunch of, I don't need I mean, don't get me wrong.
Well, I
You
mean,
need troops. You
ostensibly
always need troops.
it is still another Cold War.
I mean,
you think
we have with
basically have
China,
the same people on the same side. Well, China, Russia, who is basically still the USSR. You're not going to tell me any differently. You got a guy that's running the country that's a former KGB. So
I mean, come on, and his whole mindset is, if you look at the natural resources.
We spent 70 years in a Cold War with Russia, and we broke it for what, 2 decades, and now it's back.
I mean, it's not even that, and that's why you keep it. That's why, I mean, it's our fault that we allowed it to come back. We allowed things to happen that we should not have. We turned our back and started paying attention to Afghanistan and stealing oil from the Middle East, or we don't even call it the Middle East. You know what I mean? From Asia. You know, we started stealing money from those guys over there, and that's the problem. That's what we did wrong. We should have kept our eye on the ball, which was China, Russia, you know, and that whole block of countries that are coming up next.
They still have a lot of money over there. Don't be fooled.
Who are you talking about?
In the Middle
in
East.
Russia?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm not. I'm talking about the. You're saying we stole oil from them and made money.
They're
still making money.
No. That was we shifted our focus to that. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what we got. Well, that was the nation. That was the empire building phase where Cheney wanted us to go in there, and Rumsfeld wanted us to go in there and take over the whole entire. You know, I mean, I don't like to call it the Middle East because it's not really that, but you know, it's whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Take over that region. That was their personal thing. That's why I'm not saying I know they got so much oil over in the Middle East and so many, you know, it's natural gas, stuff like that. They're going to be fine, but that's not the point. If we should have, what we should have done is kept our eye on the ball. Right now, I feel, getting back to the original point of it all, I feel like he got steamrolled. And this is what Fox said themselves. He went in there and dude steamrolled him. He came out of that meeting. Now all of a sudden he has a different frame of mind. Something was said during that meeting, which scared Trump. You saw his face change. Oh, well, I don't think that we need a ceasefire now. I never did any of my other peace deals with a ceasefire. You changed your whole ideology. Every time this guy comes around, you change your whole entire mind. Something's up with this dude. You know, something's not right.
I didn't see any of that. I don't see not even the people on legacy media have been not praising him, but they're not looking. He's not looking like a joke. They're not looking at it like a joke happened.
Did you hear
they're sitting there telling the world, hey, you know, we need to do something about this. That's why you invite all those European leaders over to get them more involved. Because
you think that's why they came? I don't think that's why they came. I think they came because of what happened last time. I think they came.
No, they came because we invited them over.
No, I believe it, but I believe they came because of what happened last time, because of the debacle that happened last time in the White House. When Zelensky was there, when he sat there and he basically tried to, you don't have the cards, and treat him like dirt. This is because we have a bad president.
They brought him over. It wasn't because of that. That's not why. You needed to get them involved because they got more of a stake in the game than we do. I mean, 100%. That they have to be involved more because A, they're giving more money to NATO. B, they have the wherewithal to push back on Putin too. We can't be the world's police. Okay. Mm-hmm. Somebody else has to take the mantle away from us over there. We can't do it all. We have to get them involved, and they have to do more. That's why they were here. It wasn't because of what happened with Zelensky last time. It's because Trump needed to get them involved, and that's what he's doing.
I think that too, but I think that really the big part of it also was so that it did not have a replay of the last time when he was here. They can't afford that. They can't afford to lose America in this. We are basically, I mean, if you look at it, if you add up all those countries who are probably, most of the countries who are in NATO, we probably have a larger population than all of them almost put together. Probably a good chance of it. You know what I mean? Like, so if you know, at the end of the day, it's not our job to be the world's police, but without NATO, America is not America. NATO's owed money. NATO's like having a person who's been around for a long time and has spies in every single country, because most of them have colonized the whole entire world at some point in time. So they're everywhere. That's what NATO is. It's basically the house's money. Period. And that's why we are. But to me, I look at NATO like we need to keep friendships with them. We need to start looking at the rest of the world for what it really is. The world is changing very, very rapidly, and we need to start not just focusing in on Europe, because it's no longer just about Europe and that part of the world anymore. It's about South America, Africa, Asia. I mean, so there's a part of Asia that's growing at such a rapid pace that pretty much.
But the problem is Ukraine's not worried about those other places in the world. They're
right now.
focused on surviving.
Not right now.
They're
Not
focused
right
on
now.
surviving.
Not right now. Absolutely.
They need, and what they need to do is, at what point though do you say enough's enough and you say we're done? Go ahead and take that. We're done with it because just have it.
So just take.
I don't know. I'm not the one that's going to sit here and say yes. That's exactly what they need to do because it is a scary proposition to lose that.
Yeah, I mean that's your people. You give up your people. You give up a lot. They basically are a landlocked country almost right now. Know that, right?
Yeah, and you give up access to the Black Sea. Right?
I mean, the Donbass. I mean, more or less, they have a little sliver of land still. I want that does have access to the Black Sea. I mean, but that can be taken from them at any given time because they decide to go ahead and invade or say that they want to annex something or say that, these people over here want to become Russian. They can do the same thing all over again. They've done it in Georgia. They've done it in several places. This is why.
What incentive does Putin have to stop?
None at all.
Unless you give him part of that region to say, all right, is that going to make you stop?
For now,
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't say that's a good thing or a bad thing.
That's a horrible thing. That's like appeasement.
My opinion would be it's a bad thing, right?
It's appeasement.
You're kind of losing your sovereignty as well when that happens. But
what happens next is he's going to do it again.
To avoid, and this happens with every war, somebody has to give up something, right? Every war, somebody gives up something.
Yeah, I think Putin is pretty much like our era's version of Hitler to a degree. You know what I mean? Not to say not to run into everything that Hitler did.
Stalin. He's more like a Stalin.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Stalin invaded this many countries though. I mean, I'm not sure. Don't get me wrong. I don't have the
in World War II, no. But I mean, they already had all that Eastern Bloc pretty much.
You know what I mean? So he's basically, I mean, this guy right here, he understands that. I always talk this all the time. It's they have to fight. They have to fight. There's they can't stop now. They can stop now to appease the world, but they have to fight, or else Russia will no longer exist. What'll happen is China's going to end up annexing a large portion of Eastern Russia. Watch.
That's a very good possibility because you have a lot of Chinese descendants there that live in that part of the country.
And Russia just lost 1 million people. I mean, I won't say 1 million troops died, but either were severely wounded or are gone. That's 1 million men, of fighting age. That means of childbirthing age.
It's a population thing, right? Yeah, I get that. It's a population thing.
They're done.
But at some point, there has to be a compromise somewhere. Every war ends in a compromise, and this one is no different. We gave when Germany fell in World War II, the United States compromised and gave them
half.
part of Now they only had a small half of Germany, a small part of Germany. I mean, they had the East Berlin, right? So, but I mean, it wasn't a significant amount of land that they gave them. It was a strategic amount of land that they gave them, yes. But the problem is Germany lost everything in World War I and World War II. And it's because they had to give up what they had to give up. And every war has its compromises, and this one's not going to be any different. This one won't be any different.
You know what I will say though, just so we won't prolong this. But what I will say about this is that I do believe that Ukraine will get back its land. Because I believe
I hope so. I think
not now. It won't happen like during this he has to take this. If you don't, then what did you fight for? You have to go back home, and you're weakened amongst your people. You're already, I think he's suffering from some type of neurological condition. I've seen his legs kind of buckling. Did you see that video where his legs were kind of like kicking? I'm like, and he's getting older. You can kind of tell in his face he's had some his face trying to stay younger. You can kind of he's probably
he's not riding shirtless on horses anymore.
You get what I'm saying? He's probably he's probably a done deal. When you know how it goes, we get older, things kind of change a little bit. And so at the end of the day, I think they will, only because I think Russia will not be able to hold this land. They just won't. I think
at some point it'll be after Putin's gone. I don't know who's going to take over. Absolutely. I don't know who's going to take over for when he dies or when he gets taken out of power or what happens. But eventually somebody hopefully comes along and has some damn common sense over there and can be a real leader for those people. Because right now they don't have one. No, they have a bully. They have a bully.
Absolutely. And it's just me. You don't appease a bully. Not You don't. If you do, then we all
Sometimes you
know how
have
this
to.
kind of.
Sometimes you got to give your lunch money up. Sometimes
Yeah,
you got to give that lunch
don't
money
get me
up.
wrong. They're gonna take this loss. They have to take this loss, but either that or you keep fighting it until the last man's gone. They got to take this loss.
But eventually that bully gets his comeuppance.
Absolutely. I know you have